Alright, what is going on today, chat? Another day, another grade review. Hopefully you guys are doing good. Chino, High Def, Cody, welcome in. Welcome in, welcome in. Just getting things set up here, and should be ready to go. Have a lot of new stuff to actually go over today, which includes some new cards that are in the inventory. I went pretty crazy through my bulk last night and found some pretty good stuff, so we're going to go over it together. You can kind of see over there. It's my little station that I'll be going over later today, so welcome in, guys. So for those of you who are new here, my name is Galaxy Gaming, and every Wednesday I do what's called Grade Review. Cody, what up? And we are going to pretty much just get right into it. This is Japanese, I believe. And so if you guys have any questions about anything that you're seeing tonight, this is my way of trying to give back to you, the community, to save us some money. Because we don't need to be upcharged for pre-grading. So we're just going to get right into it. So first up is the Blastoise Piplup Tag Team. So let us take a look at this bad boy. So normally with Modern, again, it's really just centering in corners is the biggest issue. But so far, this one looks pretty good. Nothing of concern. So some of the tools I'm going to be using is just standard snipping tool baked into Windows, so nothing crazy. So let's get into it. So centering is good. So normally we kind of look at the centering at these silver edges here. So from here to about there on that left side, and then there to about there on the right side. So centering looks good. Not really too worried about the texturing of the foil. That corner looks good. And again, everything that I'm kind of doing can be translated to pretty much any other grading company like PSA, CGC, Beckett, all that fun stuff. So it's not exclusive to PSA what I'm kind of going over tonight. So all of this can be applied. In addition, this can be applied to any other grading company or any other TCG as well. So the front of this card looks really good. So really not a lot of issues there. Now, as for the back looks pretty good. So really the big thing that I like to kind of look for on the back is any whitening or anything off center. And so far, this looks okay on that top right side, but I notice a little bit on that right side in general, so I'll have to take a look at there. So again, welcome guys to your first time here. Right now I am helping a community member pre-grade their cards for grade review. And who's that, Pablo? I feel like I'm getting baited. So in this section here, looks a little... So I don't know if that's lighting or whitening on that right side. That's really the only thing that I can kind of really see in this section. But aside from that, the card looks really good. I don't know if you guys agree or disagree. But the card looks really good. So I would say, you know, there's really not... Oh, really? That's so funny. I used to watch him when I played Yu-Gi-Oh! A lot. That's so funny you say that. Have a little bit of a scratch there, what appears to be a scratch. But yeah, I would say really the only thing that I could see is like this minor scratching on the back left here, kind of cutting through the P in Pokemon and kind of on that edge. In addition, what appears to be some whitening on this right side. So basically there's kind of like two different things here. So the first is that the front is in really good shape. Corners are good, centering is really good, so far, so good. The back is really where it's kind of iffy. So the scratch on the back here next to the P in Pokemon, that's where I'm kind of having the most issues with, to be quite honest with you. Right in, and you guys can't even see what I'm talking about. which is right here in this highlighted section. Betty, what's going on? You might be excited once after grade review, I'm going to be going over that, all the stuff I found rummaging through my bulk. So we got a little scratch there. And in addition, we do what appears to be seen as a little bit of whitening here. So if this is just lighting, I will go over that in just a second, Taco. So if this is lighting, then, you know, we probably anywhere from like probably like a 9, based off how many scratches, because there is one here, so my assumption is that there's probably more on the surface that we simply can't see from this one picture. So kind of keep that in mind, that the surface subgrade will kind of go down a little bit because of, we see one, there's probably more. But if this is whitening on this right edge, you're probably looking between an 8 or like 7's a little too aggressive, but it's not outlandish, if that makes sense. So I would kind of give it a range. I would say if that is lighting, it's more of a PSA 9. If it is whitening, it's more of an 8, possibly a 7, but probably more towards the 8, because some of that does look like lighting. But if it's all whitening, then you're probably looking at a 7. So it's kind of a big range there. Don't mean to cheat, but that's just what it is. So if you are wondering, just give me 1 second here. So if you guys are wondering how to submit your cards for a future grade review, this is how you're going to do it. So in the link in my bio, you're going to go to my link tree. Once you're here, you're going to click or tap the Discord icon. Next, you're going to submit your cards in the grade review channel. Just make sure to follow all the rules and all that fun stuff. And I review it for free. So it's absolutely for free, will always be free. However, the big thing is that it is first come, first serve. So the faster you submit your cards, the faster they'll be available in a future grade review. So just kind of keep that in mind. And yeah, that's pretty much all there is to it. Let's see. Anytime, Taco. Was going to give an update. Base Blastoise you checked last week came back as a PSA 7. Nice. What do you remember what we assessed it as, Can? I honestly can't remember. Cody, hey, I ended up selling that Sylveon submitted due to a weird cut you'll see. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Well, good, man. That's good that you're able to... Good job, Can. You just triggered all of us into saying 6-7 and doing our arms. Everyone blame Can for everyone just doing the 6-7 stim. Alright, so... Yeah, you guys are in for a treat tonight for sure. I was going through a lot of my bulk, and just to kind of give a sneak peek. So some of the stuff that I'm going to be going over, you can kind of see that bulk on the left side. I went through quite a bit last night, so I found some pretty cool stuff that I was going to save to share with you guys, including one interesting Charizard that I saw. So you guys will just have to wait to see. But until then, next up is Garden of Eden. So Garden of Eden, thank you so much, and let's get right into it. My card's getting ready for it. Yeah, exactly, Albin. Welcome in, my friend. All right. So first off is the Chansey. So the Chansey looks good so far. Centering is really good. Maybe a little bit thicker on that left side. And I think just because it's the first card that we're actually measuring the centering on tonight, this will be a good kind of quick rundown in case you have never seen this process. It can kind of translate to pretty much anything you do. This is exactly what I do in person. So basically all you're going to do is take some measurement tool, and it doesn't really matter what tool you use as long as you do the math right. So in this example, we're just going to measure the tick marks. So on the left side, we go from the left to the right, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tick marks on the left side. And then on the right, we have to turn it a little bit because just based off of how the picture is. So we'll go from here to about there. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4 tick marks on the right. So to reiterate, we have 5 on the left, 4 on the right. So what that means is that we add both together to get 9, right? So we just simply divide one of the sides by the sum. And that is not what I meant to do, so 5 divided by 9. So we have 0.55 repeating, of course. So this is where kind of all hail the grader, and hopefully they're having a good day. If they stick with the 55, right? So if they round down, that means that you're just at the maximum tolerance of sub-centering score being a 10, which allows you to get that PSA 10. Because for centering on the front, the range is 50-50 centering, which is perfect, all the way to 55-45. However, if the grader just got through a divorce or just went through a breakup or fell down a flight of stairs or whatever, and they're having a really bad day and they're grading your stuff, if they round up, then you're technically out of the range or the qualifier to receive a PSA 10 grade from centering, if we're just talking about centering alone. So you'd be in the 56-44 range, which would result in the maximum grade you could get if the rest of the car is completely flawless would be a PSA 9. So hopefully you slip in a $5 bill in your PSA submission, make your grader happy, and they round down for you. So that's kind of where that is. Obviously, measure it in person. We're measuring a card online, so just kind of keep that in mind. But from what I can tell, I think you should be fine for the centering this one. Corners look good. The only thing that I see is, and we might have to kind of zoom in on the original image, because sometimes when I take a screenshot, it kind of makes it a little bit pixelated as we zoom in. But and I know some of you guys might be really kind of saying like, you know, why am I so picky on this stuff? Well, PSA has gotten a lot harsher with their grading, so we have to kind of adapt. So there's a little bit of white, like a lightened spot here on the top edge. So that may be a sign of whitening on the top edge, but we might have to zoom in on the original image because that might just be a reflection of the foil or something, or a bit of fuzz that might just kind of been left on there. So that's why I'm kind of highlighting it. Additionally, one thing that I see often is that little black dot right where the center of the circle is. So something like that can be removed pretty easily with like a microfiber cloth, a little bit of distilled water, just to kind of loosen if that is dirt, to just simply remove, and then you don't have to worry about it anymore. So just something to kind of consider if that is a bit of dirt, or if you have dirt on your cards. That's something that I do personally when I submit stuff. So really we only have 3 little bits of issues that I see. And kind of now that we're looking at the raw image, you can kind of see some of that here on the top right where the tip of my mouse is there, and what appears to be above the A and N, which is right here. So we have a little bit of that, and then this is that kind of dirt mark that I was talking about before near the Pokémon, right where the tip of my mouse is. So right about there, that might be something stuck on the card. Again, we just want to make sure that we remove that to the best of our ability. So let us now look at the back of the Chansey. And based on this picture, the centering is still really good. The only thing that I can really comment on is, again, maybe something stuck there as well, but there's no issues with the corners, no issues with the edges. Maybe a little bit of what seems to be something that PSA has gotten a lot more stingent on is what we've kind of called pack folds. Corpse Gamer, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that very much. And anyone else that's followed that I missed. So we do have a little bit of what's called a pack fold here. So traditionally, a while ago, PSA was not really great, like dinging us harshly for these pack folds that we have, you know, no impact on. We, you know, open the pack and it was like that. I saw a lot of cards in the past kind of squeak by and have those kind of be like gamblers 10s. Now, what I've been seeing more and more, especially on social media, is I've been seeing a lot of people kind of report and say, hey, like, why is my stuff now coming back as 9s or even 8s? The rest of the card's flawless. And my assumption is because they're grading these pack folds a little bit more harshly than in the past. So something like that, just kind of keep an eye on that for new cards, that if those pack folds do exist, traditionally they're more on the top left and the top right on the back side. But just kind of keep that in mind. If the rest of the card is flawless, but you do see those, One thing that might be worth is trying to flatten some of those out if you can in a safe manner. And I have some cleaning videos I kind of talk about like using like a press and stuff like that, but that's the extent. That's all you really need to do. Starboy999, thank you for the follow. Appreciate that very much. But that's really the only thing that I see. So again, for modern, we all can kind of agree until the market changes. For stuff like this, it's pretty much PSA 10 or bust. So I would say, you know, with some of the things that I saw, like kind of being on the edge for centering, depending on how you kind of go either way. Some of the issues that we kind of saw towards the top, possibly towards the bottom, and that pack fold on the bottom right side, chances are it might not get a 10. So therefore, it might not be worth sending in anyway. You know, you might get a 9 or an 8, but that's kind of like just because of the return on your investment for this card. If you're looking to sell it, it's just not worth submitting it, to be honest. But if it's just for your personal collection, then you know it doesn't matter what grade you get, right? So, but that's kind of my guess. Jesus Reyes, thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. Front holographic print line is all the graded notes, dude. I had a first ed Shadowless Zard, had like the worst. It was like heavy whitening on back. It was like the worst notes. 2000 Lugia first edition got a PSA 8. Think I could resubmit to another grading company? I guess it just depends on what you're trying to get out of doing something like that, Mike. Because, you know, not to make it so. I mean, I can talk about it a little bit more in depth at a later time, but in short, kind of you need to calculate how much money you're investing into the Lugia to where it's no longer a return on your investment, right? Because Lugia, I'm sure that was probably a pretty hefty submission price. So you have to factor in, I mean, unless you've had it for a kid, so your cost is essentially 0. But if you bought it, you know, you have to factor in the purchase price plus the grading fees. And now if you're going to crack and try to submit it again, you're basically kind of washing out any potential profit that you might have. But I mean, for me personally, like, I think any vintage that is 8 or higher is pretty good in my book. Anytime ISS cards that are like WotC era, if they kind of hit that for me personally, like if they're 8, 9, or 10, I just kind of keep it in there. So I think, especially if you saw like a print line on the front, and if it's like an 8, chances are if you can see it, they can see it, which includes to any other grading company. So if it were me, I probably wouldn't crack it. I'm not going to lie, Galaxia, I might think my card is a 9, the Mega Gardevoir. Okay. Let's take a look. Sorry, I'm kind of yapping here. This isn't yours, but... Oh, no, you have yours later on. That's right, because you're Albin. Yeah. Sorry about that. Alright, next up, the Team Rockets Giovanni. So right off the bat, that left side does look a little bit thicker than the right. And we can do a quick measurement just in case. But that right side, it's going to be a little bit hard because it is a little bit angled, but we shall see. And if you guys are new here, welcome. I appreciate you hanging out with me tonight. Just as a reminder, for those of you who are wondering what I'm doing, I do pre-grading for the community absolutely for free. So if you want to learn more about that, just let me know. Just give me one quick second, guys. Hopefully you guys can hear me. My live crapped out a little bit there. Hopefully you guys can hear me. But anyway. So yeah, if you want to know more, just let me know in chat. So on the left side, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tick marks on that left side. Perfect. And then on the right, we have about, just like there. Thank you, Chill. Appreciate that. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so it's It's pretty good. So we're not too worried about that from the angle perspective. So centering, I think, is fine. Front's good. Let's take a look at the back. Now the back does have some mild whitening, but looks to be okay. Let me just take another screenshot here. So really the only thing that I'm kind of concerned with, to be honest, is kind of these print lines on the bottom. So I don't know if you guys can see them. I'll try to highlight them with a good old rectangle. So we got one right there, then one right there. So we have two what appears to be print lines on the back. So that is something that we'll have to kind of keep in mind here. But I would say, you know, because of that, you know, the card isn't that expensive in general. So if these are worse in person, I probably wouldn't submit them, because my guess is that there's probably more if they're this noticeable just online. But I mean, you might kind of be like a gambler's 10, to be quite honest with you, if that's it, because I don't see any whitening on the back, aside from this right here, which this just looks like a little bit of fuzz that you can probably just wipe off right inside of that little rectangle there. But aside from that, that's really the only thing I can see. And then this too, a little bit more whitening on that edge there, but you can just wipe that off. So, but yeah, I think, you know, you kind of have like a little bit of a gambler's 10 going on. I would just kind of treat those if you can, but really the bottom is really what I'm most concerned with. Chill, thank you for liking the live. And if you guys are enjoying yourselves, I definitely appreciate the likes and follows and shares. Really does mean a lot. So next up, we have the Mew EX. So the centering on this bad boy looks pretty good. Now the only thing with these seems to always be the top edge. And Jose, thank you for liking the live as well. Thank you guys so much. Corners look good. Centering looks really good. Now I'm hoping for your sake that the corners are also good. So let's take a look. So that right corner looks good. So that top right corner looks good. Top edge looks good. Jose, thank you for following the live. Appreciate that very much. Left edge looks good. Bottom left corner. Yeah, I mean, a lot of this stuff looks really good, guys, to be quite honest with you. Like, bottom edge looks good. Right edge looks good. Really no main complaints from what I can tell. So legitimately, I think this is probably your first PSA 10 contender, to be honest. Really clean card. The front is really nice. The corners are phenomenal. I think a lot of kind of the things that we're seeing on top is more of like the texturing and less of any damage that I can see on the card. So yeah, I would say, you know, for this one specifically, I think it's pretty good. So definitely a 10 contender for sure, in my opinion. And next up we have the Blastoise VMAX promo. So let's take a look there. So centering on this looks good. No issues there. Top, bottom look good. Left and right looks good. So far, so good. Texturing looks really good. I don't know why I said it like that. So again, there's a really big surge in interest in promos. It's always so funny how promo interest kind of ebbs and flows. But centering looks really good. Corners look fantastic. Again, I think you have another, unless you guys in chat see anything. And again, I'm always open. If you guys see something that I don't, I always welcome you guys letting me know. I'm not the end-all be-all. The more people that can review this stuff, the better. But this card looks really good. Top, bottom, left, right. I don't see any major bits of whitening or dirt or anything like that. Card looks great, man. Looks really, really solid. So yeah, I think another PSA 10 contender. The centering again looks really good on the front. So yeah, onward and upward. All right, next up is your Clara, but I don't know if I miss the back, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Clara is just the centering in the front. Is that Blastoise back, bottom, right, whitening? Let's take a look. So normally, I think with, and actually, Fed, this is actually a really good point to bring up. So for those of you who don't know, on, let's see. So on, if I can think correctly, online and eBay, you can now buy cards that are above 250 to get them submitted to get graded by PSA. So a lot of the tools and techniques that I'm doing to look at cards online apply to what we're doing tonight. Once I'm done with the Clara Gira, I will let you know how to submit your cards. And this is a completely free service to anyone else is wondering. So one of the things to note is where the light source is coming from on these photos. So the light source in this example is coming from the bottom right. So all of this is just more or less like the camera flash or the light source kind of illuminating this. So it kind of goes both ways, where on one hand you need really good lighting to show the full card in its entirety with good lighting and trying to not hide anything. But at the same time, if there is a degree of whitening in that area, sometimes you can kind of hide the whitening with this kind of overexposed light on the card. So that's why it's really important when you're looking at cards online to have multiple pictures on multiple angles, because if there is whitening here, it's really hard to see because it's hidden by this light. So I definitely see what you're talking about, Fed. But that's my guess is that it's more the light source impacting what the card looks like versus it actually being true whitening, if that makes sense. So yeah, Gira. So if you guys want to know how to submit your cards for a future grade review, again, this is completely free. The reason why I do this is I try to help the community pre-grade their cards. PSA actually just increased their prices, or are just about to increase their prices again with extended turnaround time. So all these prices are getting really expensive for grading in general. So I find it helpful to teach the community as much as I can so that we can train each other just to improve. So how you do it is if you go into my bio and you go to my link tree, you're going to go click or tap the Discord icon. Once you're there, you're going to submit your cards in the grade review channel. And again, completely free, will always be free. It is first come, first serve. So the faster you submit your cards, the faster I'll review them. I do grade review streams every Wednesday starting at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So again, the faster you can submit them, the faster they'll get reviewed, and it's completely free. I got Umbreon VMAX from Evolving Skies. Dude, that's awesome. Well, yeah, definitely submit, man. We've been doing this. This is the episode 82, for those of you who have been here for a while. So we do these often. We do them every Wednesday. Okay, so Garden was wondering about the centering on this bad boy. So we are going to take a look. And I think just based off the eyeball, I think the centering is fine. Because the top and bottom are going to be a little bit skewed because of the supporter, that the supporter layer kind of extends upwards into the top edge. But let's take a look. I mean, I'll do my best for the measuring online, but again, always do this stuff in person. So we'll go from there to there. So the left side is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the left side. And then the right side. So we got from here to about here. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4.5 roughly, if I were to guess. So 4.5. So I think you're good, man. To be honest, I think centering is fine. Top and bottom, left and right. So just to answer your question, I think that's more than okay. All right. So next up, we have the Bubble Mew. So let's take a look real quick. Two Charizards, Obsidian Flame. Nice, dude. I got 2 Celebration Charizards I've been wanting to grade. Well, this is the place for you, my friend. I would love to see them in grade review if you haven't submitted them already. All right, next up. the Bubble Mew. This card goes all over the place, it seems like, all the time in terms of price, so we're gonna have to be pretty careful with this one. So again, Modern will always kind of be the same principle. It's either centering or corners when it comes to pretty much PSA 10 or bust. Okay, so the first thing I can notice is the left and the right look really good for centering, so that's good. Now the only thing, if I had to pick, it's really the top and the bottom. That the top may be a little bit thicker than the bottom, but I think we're within that range again, within that 50-50 to 55-45 range. But we'll just kind of do a courtesy measure just in case. Because this card as a PSA 10 is definitely up there. I don't know if it's broken 2K yet, but it is definitely on its way, in my opinion. So let's take a look. So we will go right here, do like that. What about there? So right now I'm just kind of measuring the silver edge and drawing a quick line. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 roughly on the bottom. And again, this will, this more or less is as accurate as I can possibly make it. So we're trying to kind of do our best here. And then from boom to about there. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-ish, somewhere around there. So we're definitely in that range of, if it is a true kind of hard, like 4 tick marks on the bottom and 5 tick marks on the top, you're kind of at that range again where on a good day, if they round up, then you're going to be 56-44 ratio. But if they round down, they'll be 55-45, which is the absolute max you can be in terms of centering tolerance. So hopefully that is wrong in a good way when you measure this in person. But that was the first thing that I saw on this front of this Mew. So let's take a look at the back. And the back, there are some things that I am seeing on the back. Smoke, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that very much. So on the back here, let me just take a quick screenshot. And again, it's really just kind of a PSA 10 or bust with these modern cards specifically. And so when we look, and again, it's really important to check these cards because we have whitening here, and this stuff is a little bit too difficult because I don't know if it's the background or not, but those for sure are bits of whitening on that top right corner. And even with me continuing on, if the rest of the card is flawless, like this, I don't know. I'm going to kind of make it more orange because I genuinely don't know if that's the background or the card specifically. But I do not think that this will 10 because of, and we also have this, so this is on that blue layer, so this is almost like dirt or something on that, or it's just, if it's on like a carpet or something, I'm not really too sure. But yeah, it's really just these 2 points of whitening here on the top right corner. So here and here. Those will definitely prevent you from getting that 10. It's sad reality, but it's the reality that we live in. Some might kind of argue that you might get a 9. Others might argue they might get an 8, just depending on, it's really just this one is a little bit larger in nature. Like if it was just this one here on this right side, if it was just that, you'd probably be a very, very strong 9 because the centering on the front is on the fence. But with that second one, in addition to the centering potentially being like in the 9 range on the front side, you might be in that 8. I'd probably lean more towards an 8 than the 9 because of the potential centering on the front, which may kind of be out of that range, in addition to the 2 main points of whitening in the top right on the back side. So that's just kind of my 2 cents. If they cut the card by an angle, would that affect it from being a 10? It would, because that would affect the overall centering of the card. And another kind of, there's like a 5th grading criteria, which is eye appeal, right? So if it doesn't look good, then, you know, it affects how the card is presented, right? So if it's at an angle, you might get like a grading qualifier, but that might be it. Like, meaning that it'll say like MC, like 8 MC, which means miscut. If it's like that. All right, so it looks like we have some prismatics. So we have some Jolteons, Charizard, and a Sylveon. So let's take a look at there. If you guys are enjoying yourselves, I always appreciate the likes and shares. Really does mean a lot. And if you guys are wondering how to submit your cards for a future grade review, definitely let me know in the chat. Be more than happy to help. Or if you have any other questions. I've been vending for quite some time, so I like to also answer questions about that as well. Lil7, thank you for the follow. Appreciate that very much. So this left side is a little bit thick. I'm not going to lie to you guys. Because again, centering in corners for Modern. And this right side looks a little bit thick. I'm not going to lie to you. So let's take a quick measurement of that. So we got from about here to about there. Yeah, Jay, I'd love to. And right now, the queue is actually pretty light. So the faster you submit, the faster I can review them at next stream. Can I submit my PSA card recently graded, and you give me your opinion on why I graded that way? So I normally review ungraded cards. However, if you post it in the media channel, I'd be more than happy to kind of put my insight there. It just kind of keeps things a little bit more organized. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 there. And then we also have... Yeah, because that is always very frustrating when you kind of submit a card thinking it's going to get 1 grade and it completely, like, doesn't go your way. Javi, the golfing DJ, thank you for the follow. Appreciate that very much. Oh, yeah, Ancient Muse are very, very hard to grade. There's a lot of hollow. So 1, 2, 3, 4 on that right side. So again, kind of the same thing. The 5 on the left, 4 on the right. And honestly, it's probably even a little bit less than a 4 on that right side, to be quite honest with you. So I don't think that this would get a 10 because of the centering alone. What's the process to have you check out the cards? Yeah, so once I'm done with so I have the Jolteon, the Charizard, and the Sylveon. Once I'm done with the Charizard, I'll go over again how to submit your cards. And it's completely free service too, David. Or if I have a mod in chat, they want to help out too. But no problems. David, thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. But the back looks clean. I mean, there's definitely, you can kind of see that centering on the left side on the front translating to the right side on the back. Because we're actually physically flipping the card over, so it kind of is in line. Twisted, thank you for the follow. And Finkey, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it very much. So there's really not a lot of whitening on the corner. I mean, there is no whitening on the corners. So really the big thing, and it's really unfortunate, right? Because it's one of those things where there's no impact that you've done on the card. But just from the centering, the maximum grade that you can get based off of centering alone is going to be a PSA 9. And I think this Jolteon is a really good example of that, and that the impact of centering and centering alone will prevent this card from getting a 10. On paper, it should technically not get a 10. It should get a 9 at most. So next up is the Charizard. Let's take a look. So again, kind of same thing with the Jolteon, but this one's a little bit... it's thicker on the left side with this Charizard, but definitely within the range. So it's not really needed to measure. Corners look great. Centering looks good, like I said. Texas, thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. Corners look good. Nothing really of concern. Now, the only thing that I see here, and this is kind of like, again, some of the things that you guys have to kind of keep in mind when you're looking at cards online, like Facebook Marketplace or anything like that, is, you know, I don't know, for example, if... So I'm just going to kind of take a screenshot of the top half of this Charizard, because that's really all I'm seeing right now. So we see what appears to be a little bit of a ding, possibly, and I'm going to kind of highlight it in orange, because there is that possibility that it isn't because of the background. But in this range specifically, right about here, right where I'm kind of making that arrow, and I just drew over it. So right about there, that's kind of where I'm seeing. I don't know if you guys can see something like that, but the other thing is this. Now, to me, this looks like probably a hair, but if I had this, you know, if I had the ability to ask for someone to take a picture, like a redo of a picture, like if this is like selling on eBay or selling on Facebook Marketplace, you want to make sure that this isn't just a hair, right? So if it is, then perfect. But if it's not, then that could be like a ding, or at worst, a dent or a bend, which would significantly decrease the condition of a card just from that alone. So I think with this little, like this nick on top, I'm looking at the card and it's a ding. Okay. So I would probably say, you know, if you can see it in person, and then there's also some dirt here by the N. I don't know if you guys can see that, but there's something kind of like right where I'm circling there. So I would probably, you know what? Yeah, we haven't done a chat grade in a while. Let me get that going. Just give me 1 second. So chat, if you guys want to vote on what you think this Charizard would get as a PSA grade, type in ! grade followed by the number. And so whether you're watching me on YouTube or TikTok tonight, if you type in ! grade followed by the number, the bot should tally up all of the grades. So this is the front of the Zard. Really, the centering was good. It was really just the back, which is kind of highlighted here. So in this section on top, there's a little bit of a ding, which was confirmed by Cody, as well as a little bit of dirt mark there. So if you guys want to vote on what you think this card would get, type in ! grade followed by the number. And while you guys are voting real quick, because I haven't done that in a while, let me catch up with chat here. Again, if you guys want your vote to count, type in ! grade followed by the number. So again, thank you guys for liking the live. And David, like I said, I'll go through how to submit your cards for a future grade review after I'm done with this Zard. Yeah, so we have a lot of on the fence. So some people on YouTube are saying 9, 8. Yeah, so it's really kind of like a weird predicament where it's almost kind of like that rare like 8.5, weirdly enough. Because it, like, I can see, you know, with something like that, you know, I've seen 9s get that, but I've also seen like weird 8s get that as well. Or better or worse from either side. And based off of what you guys are saying from the chat perspective, a lot of people are actually, well, the vote, the winning vote was 9, but 8 was really close second by like a vote. So I can kind of see it legitimately going both ways. Now, I would say, having said that, like, depending on, like, I would probably, if I saw this online, I was seriously considering buying it, I'd probably ask for more pictures in this spot specifically. But if it's just the one ding here, and if that's the only one, then I'd probably lean more towards a 9. However, in this section, if there is that ding, there might be more in this kind of section, in which case, if that was true, then I would lean more towards an 8. So I think the more conservative side, if I just had this picture to go off of, if I was looking to purchase it, would probably lean more towards an 8. But with what we're seeing, and which is only really that one ding in the top, it's probably more towards that 9 than the 8, in my opinion. So chat, you guys, as the collective, were thinking more of a 9, but 8 was really, really close behind. So real quick, if you guys want to know how to submit your cards for a future grade review, which is absolutely for free, first you're going to go into my bio, which my link is in the bio. Once you're at my link tree, you're going to click or tap the Discord icon on the top. You're going to then go to the Discord channel, and you're going to submit your cards in the grade review channel. Again, submit as many as you want, absolutely for free, but it is first come, first serve. So make sure if you want your cards assessed, I do this every Wednesday starting at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So the faster you submit, the faster you will get your cards graded. And the queue is pretty light. I'm getting pretty close to finishing what's in the queue. So the faster you submit, the faster you'll be up for next week. Next up is Sylveon EX. Centering is beautiful on this Sylveon. So that looks really good. Corners look great. The only thing that I see is, and I don't know, it's a little bit weirdly like foggy, the photo, but when I saw this, it looked good enough to where I can kind of comment on it. So the first two things that I see is what appears to be whitening here, as well as in the bottom right here. So you can kind of zoom in out a little bit like that. And so I don't know if you guys can see it as well, but in the bottom right and the top left, I see some whitening. It's a little bit fuzzy, but there's also some whitening on the top there. So this one most likely won't get the 10 because of the whitening alone. It actually might get an 8 because I at least counted 4 bits of whitening if they are there. So the top left is 1, bottom right is 2, and then we have 3. Let me just do a circle here. So we have 3, 4, and 5. So 5 points of very, very mild whitening. Probably wouldn't get the 9. Most likely actually would get an 8 if those points of whitening actually exist on the card. So just something to keep in mind, how much impact whitening does have on a card. All right, Albin, you are up next, my friend. Do 9 OC labels have any premium, like when they specifically mention OC on the grade? It's really... that's all good, Cody. I think we're able to kind of get out of it what we needed to get out of it. But to answer your question, it's really kind of in the eye of the beholder. It's kind of similar to people who hunt for like miscuts or print defect cards. It's really in the eye of the beholder. So it doesn't warrant like a premium per se, but to the right people and to the right buyer, it might. But that's such a niche market. It's gonna be a very long time for you to find the right buyer. In my opinion. I think you said, yeah, you sold that one, Cody. Light Yagami. Oh, you saw my face. Just don't write me in the death note. OC is off-center. It's a grading qualifier. Another grading qualifier, for example, is MC or miscut. And they will put those on PSA labels if they meet those kind of criteria. All right. So, again, modern, we're pretty much looking for centering. We're going to have to kind of collectively do like the head tilt because the tool that I have to rotate is sometimes gives me some issues. So, let's see. Actually, can I? No, I can't. Or can I? Let's see. Nope. All right. So the centering on the top and bottom, left and right are pretty good. Yeah, rotate my physical monitor. And I think if I rotate my physical monitor, it should rotate you guys too. Could you imagine? Albin, thank you for sharing the live. Appreciate that. So bottom, top, left, and right looks good for centering. The texturing is crazy on this card. So let's kind of keep looking at the front. Yeah, there's really nothing I can see on the front. Centering looks good. Corners look good. Yeah, surface looks fantastic. I'm not really worried about that. Now, in terms of the back, let's kind of take a zoom in here real quick. Yeah, they've been really pumping up their quality. What's the TCG on this one? This one is the... Oh man, I just watched a video on it. I don't know why I'm blanking on the name. Was it Phantasmal Flame or something, I think? I might be getting that wrong, but it might be. Okay. So, there are two things that I kind of notice here, Albin, that you might have to kind of confirm for us. So, the first thing that I see, and I'll take a screenshot, that you might have to confirm is there might be some weird lighting going on because there is this like weird discoloration on the bottom of the card. So to me, it looks like the card is starting to bow slightly, which is causing this weird shadow effect underneath the card. So if that is true, then so far so good. So that's the first thing. So this section right here, to me, looks like a bow on the card, and it's causing a shadow underneath. The next thing that I see possibly is maybe whitening here on that corner. Again, that might be, and I doubt, if you guys can see it on stream, you guys have eagle eyes. Because I could, like, that was the first thing I kind of saw, like a very, very mild discoloration in that corner. But in terms of centering, the centering is actually really good on the back. So with those 2 points here, so this possible whitening in that corner or the potential issue on the back, to me, this might be a good 10 contender. The centering is really good. The corners are really good on both the front and the back. The only things that I would check are what I circled in the top left and this dark spot, which to me looks like a shadow, which indicates that the card is slightly bowing, so it made a shadow underneath. So if both of those issues that I marked are false, then it would be a good 10 contender that I would personally submit if it were my card. Yeah, it's very hard, Envy, because it's almost like you have to kind of find where the gradient is. So the 50-50 gradient for this one is kind of like, and I will go over Opal in just a second how to submit. It's a free service. And again, for those of you who are wondering what I'm doing, I am pre-grading the community members' cards for free before they submit them to PSA. So it's probably like around like there slightly. So like right where the blue kind of starts meeting the orange. Which is kind of like somewhere in there, kind of. But yeah, it's pretty weird. So yeah, Albin, that is my assessment on that one. All right, and then next up, which I'm super stoked about, is the Dialga EX. So let me get all these pictures in a line here. Just getting this squared away, guys. Give me 1 second. Hopefully you guys can still see me, hear me. All right. Let me know if you guys can still see me or hear me. My chat is frozen on my end, so hopefully you guys can still hear me. Okay, so the Dialga. I just cut out, huh? But I'm back. Perfect. Albin, the thing that... Okay, perfect. Yeah, my chat kind of crashed there for a second. So in short, the front and the back look really good. Just take a note of where I highlighted. In the top left corner, it looked like there was some whitening, and the bottom edge looked like there was some bowing, which made the dark shadow underneath. So it's a good 10 contender if those two are not true. Tan, thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. All right, so next up is the Dialga EX. How can I submit to you? Show you my condition. So if you go into my link in my bio, you're going to go to my link tree. From there, you're going to click or tap the Discord icon. Then next what you're going to do is you're going to post your pictures in the grade review channel. Front and back, good pictures, good clarity. The better the pictures, the better my assessment can be. It's free service, but it is first come, first serve. So submit your pictures as soon as possible if you want to be up next for next week. How long have you been pre-grading for? What's your gem rate if you know? So I've been grading since 2017. So I've kept track of all my grading assessments since then. And my gem rate, I believe, last time I updated it was around, like, I think it was like 88 or 89% from what I calculated last. Because I'm still calculating, because people in the grading, like when we do the grade reviews, they'll submit their cards, like what they ended up getting. And most of those have been pretty spot on. But I haven't updated it in maybe about a month, but the last time I updated was around 89% gem rate. And that's just online. So yeah. Alrighty, so next we got the Dialga. It's 97%, yeah, right. Alright, so this bad boy. Absolutely beautiful card. So let's take a look. So obviously something like this. This one is actually a really good card to kind of showcase how do you measure centering of something like this, right? So how you would normally do it is... right, mine's 100% with 0 cards submitted. There you go. Always have a perfect batting average if you never submit. So, okay. So, how you measure centering of something that doesn't have a border. Traditionally, you have to get a little bit creative with some of the stuff that tends to be in the same position always, which is going to be the energy symbol. So, for something like this, and it's, again, this is at a little bit of an angle, so it's going to be, you're going to have to kind of bear with me here. So, it's pretty much like here, and then here. Right, so that's about right. And so, just to kind of visualize here. So, envision, like, this area specifically. And just kind of, like, so here. And as we kind of go across, again, you're going to have to kind of bear with me here. I'm making a makeshift border. So, roughly like that. So you use the energy as kind of your placeholder to kind of measure. So you go across the top of the energy and you go to the right of it and you kind of make this grid. And so based off of this very loose grid, the front centering technically is pretty good. And so you'd kind of compare the top to the right side in this case. So judging by that, one isn't higher or lower than the other, so it's pretty good. Yes, Albin, you're correct. And the VOD will be uploaded too. I don't know what's going on with the live tonight, but so the only other thing that I see from the edges, so we have a pretty noticeable ding here. So we have the ding there. We have what appears to be a dimple there. So bottom edge looks good. That looks good. That looks good. Possibly some dirt here. Not too sure what that is. But this card is definitely loved for sure. And the other thing that looks really interesting too. No, this shouldn't be in I don't think this is in a sleeve. But the interesting thing is that these energy symbols are shifted. So you can kind of see that the circle of this energy symbol is really like here. Like right about like there. You can kind of see that the actual steel energy is shifted. Which is actually pretty interesting. Kind of see it a little bit better here on the colorless. So it's like right there is where I can see it. So the actual markers are shifted. So a little bit of a texture shift, which is pretty cool. And so on the back, actually we have more pictures on the front here. So the bottom right have a little bit of wear there on that bottom right corner. So this card is definitely loved for sure. And it doesn't look like it. It looks like it's on top of the sleeve. But I think what you were saying was correct. So some of this is like the texturing here. So that's probably that little dimple that I was noticing there and there. But we have some dirt there. Chen, thank you for sharing the live. Appreciate you. Yeah, it's on top of a sleeve. It's on top. Yeah, it's just some more dirt and grime. So definitely on the front specifically, you can kind of see here even in the basic, like all these little like dirt pockets around the B and basic and like all this stuff. Again, really easy to clean off with some distilled water, microfiber cloth, or even like a Q-tip, just to kind of loosen some of that dirt up and just remove it. You don't want them to ding you any points from a surface score. But still a beautiful, beautiful card. And then just more pictures on that left side, kind of highlighting that little bit of damage that we saw before right in this section here. You can kind of see right where my mouse is. You kind of see that little bit of a ding there. So as we flip it over, now we start to see a little bit more damage on the back than we did see on the front. So on the back, centering is good, but just to kind of, yeah, Envy, the centering foil shift is actually pretty cool. So let's see. I'm just gonna basically highlight and talk as I go. So this whole corner has whitening, whitening here. There a lot of like weird surface issues that I'm seeing, but there is just, this card is definitely loved. So right off the bat, just to kind of talk out loud here, just from the amount of whitening, we're out of that like PSA 8 or higher, so we're out of that near mint plus range, right? So now we're starting to get into like near mint or worse. So that, like this one, for example, so right, this alone would knock us out of near mint, so we're kind of now in light play heading into moderately play, or PSA 6 to PSA 5. That's kind of how I equate it. PSA would definitely recognize it from like a grading qualifier perspective. Probably not. But I honestly don't know. I don't have, to be truthful, I don't have enough experience in grading like hollow shift errors like that. So they might recognize it, but they might not. All right, and then... Okay. So you can kind of see, guys, there's a lot of whitening on those edges. So I pretty much marked all 4 corners and all 4 edges. You know, we're kind of in, like, heading into the PSA 5 range or the mod play range so far. And I think we have some other pictures or other angles as well, kind of highlighting some more of that significant whitening damage on the corners here. So you kind of see some of that here on that left side a little bit more in detail on that left side. And then on the bottom a little bit more significant. Commander, thanks for sharing the live. Appreciate that. But yeah, I don't think, like what Quinn's saying, my gut says that they probably wouldn't. I know CGC probably would because they love like giving qualifiers to literally everything, it seems like. So they might. I don't know. Like I wouldn't gamble on it if it were me. Okay, so for this Dialga specifically, so one of the things that is always kind of like the determining factor to where something gets between like a 5 and a 4 or lower is if there are any major dents, creases, or folds. And so with that, you can kind of see my cat going across. With that, I didn't see any of those. I saw like a minor ding, which is what we kind of saw on this angle here. So you can kind of see that little ding here. But it wouldn't necessarily get us to a PSA 4 or heavy play. I think if there was, again, the fold, the bend, or the crease, we would definitely get into that PSA 4 or worse range. So I would say with the amount of whitening on the back of this Dialga, it would most likely get a 5 versus a 6, so like light play or higher. Because just, again, from this picture alone, see all those circles that I kind of highlighted signifying that there is whitening. So there's whitening on all 4 corners, all 4 edges, and the minor ding on the left side would, to me, indicate that it would get a PSA 5. If there was any, again, if there's any bends, creases, or folds of any kind on the Dialga in any way, you know, I'd probably lean more towards the 4. But since there is an absence of that, that's where my PSA 5 assessment's kind of coming in. All right, next up, we have the Reshiram. The centering actually looks, you should make a chart. Maybe if I had time, but I just use all the kind of experience just doing it and really using the PSA grading standards, to be honest. So how do I send? Yeah, so there's a few other new people. So first, new people, welcome. My name's Galaxy Gaming, and I pre-grade cards every Wednesday. So if you guys want your cards assessed for free in the same in-depth analysis as I just did with this Dialga EX, all you got to do is, if you're watching me on YouTube, go into my description. If you're watching me on TikTok, the link is in the bio. Once you go there, you're going to click or tap the Discord icon that is up on the top. Next, you're going to get redirected to the Discord, and you're going to submit your pictures in the grade review channel. So it's absolutely for free. It always will be. I stream every Wednesday at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time to do these pre-grading streams. So just submit them in there. The faster you submit your cards, the faster you can be reviewed, because it is a first-come, first-served service. And the queue is very light going into next week, so you'll definitely, if you submit now, you'll most likely get reviewed next week. So yeah, and again, it completely free, always will be. Pokey Country Club, thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. Yeah, and I always look forward to seeing new cards and new faces, so welcome. So this one was submitted by Cloud, and they're wondering some feedback about the centering on this Reshiram. Baked Jake, thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. And then once we are done with this Reshiram, do not go anywhere, because we are going to go over all that bulk you see on the left side. I went through all my bulk boxes yesterday and found some pretty cool cards, so we're going to be going over that after the grade review, so don't go anywhere. We're going to be going over that in just a few minutes. I personally don't grade One Piece, but everything that I'm kind of highlighting today in this session can translate over to One Piece. Like centering, corners, edges, surface can translate to Yu-Gi-Oh, Magic, One Piece, Dragon Ball, any TCG or sports. It translates interchangeably. Okay. So the Reshiram EX. So the main focus is the centering. So again, the front, the parameters of centering on the front is from 50-50, which is absolutely perfect centering, all the way to 55-45. And I can tell just by looking at this card, the top and the bottom are in really good shape, as well as the right and the left. The right may be a little bit thicker than the left, but it's definitely within that 55-45 ratio for sure. FYT, thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. Now, the back is different. So the back is much more aggressive. So the back is 75-25. So the front is way more strict. So there's kind of like a weird balance between the front and the back when it comes to centering and corners and stuff. So the centering on the front is way more strict than the back, but there's way less noticeable whitening on the front than there is on the back. So normally when you flip it over, it's the whitening that gets you, and not the centering, where it's reverse on the front. Caesar, thank you for following the live. Appreciate that. And liking the live. Thank you so much. Welcome. I think you're a new name here. So for those of you who are new, welcome. Thank you for hanging out with me on this Wednesday. But the main thing, again, with Modern, I always like to just kind of triple check to make sure that there's no whitening on the corners or on the edges. This is in a sleeve, but they're really more focused on the in there. Yeah, because that little bit of whitening on the E is just stuck on the sleeve. Can I pin the link in chat? Let me see if I can. Just give me 1 second. I will do my best. Copy. There you go. I can't pin it because I'm kind of doing two things at once, but there you go. Can a small white speck hold a card back from a 10? It can, because I call those gambler's 10s. Sometimes it doesn't work. It doesn't impact the grade. You still can get a 10. Sometimes you get a 9. It's kind of up in the air. It's kind of whether or not the grader had a good day or not, to be honest. But I talk about kind of gambler's 10s all the time in this channel, so... but to kind of go back to your question about the Reshiram, I think the centering is fine. The centering on the front and the back are really good. I don't see any whitening on the corners. It should be good. So I'm not too worried about that. So that is the centering there. Or centering there. Yeah, so centering, good. I think this is a good 10 contender, in my opinion. Plague, what's going on? Long time no see, my friend. And so now what we're going to be doing, chat. So again, if you guys want us to have your cards reviewed next Wednesday, submit your cards as soon as possible, because the faster you do, you get higher up in the queue, because it's first come, first serve. So now what we're going to do is we are going to go over to the almighty grading desk, and that is a dead code. And we are going to look at some cool cards that I found going through my bulk. So if you guys have not gone through your bulk with how crazy Pokemon has gotten lately, you will be surprised on how much stuff has either increased or decreased in price as of late. And it's really, really interesting to see a lot of that stuff move. For example, and I personally think it's kind of silly, where the Mew from Celebrations is kind of going crazy with the PSA 10 price, which is like a card that no one cared about until recently, because the investor bros. So, you know, just some of those in general, just as an example. But let me get this camera going. CJ, thank you for the follow. Why is a full display? Dude, I don't know. I have no idea. So let me just get this get my microscope ready to go. Perfect. So we should be all set. Thank you for the rose plague. Appreciate you. All right, so now that should show on stream here in a second. There we go. Perfect. All right, so basically what we're going to be doing is we're going to be going over some cards. So normally I like to have cheaper binders, so like $1, $2, $3 binders, and I'm just going to kind of go through some of the bulk that I found going through last night and just kind of nerd out with you guys for the rest of the night. So yeah, we're just going to enjoy the rest of the night. My Lost Origins Black and Gold PSA 10 Mew quad in price recently. What's going on with these Mews? Dude, I have no idea. I really have no idea. So one of the first things that I actually want to show off, and if you guys saw my plethora of Instagram stories, first is this really cool Japanese theme deck. So if you guys have never seen this, it's a pretty cool, interesting little piece. It doesn't have the cards in this per se, but yeah, we'll just kind of take a look. So this was the front, so you can kind of see the power of the microscope here. Have Mr. Blaine himself showing up on the big screen. But yeah, Mew, I think people are trying to find the next Umbreon, to be honest. Like Umbreon, Charizard, Pikachu, Mew. Yeah, dude, it's crazy. It is absolutely crazy. But yeah, here's some of like the products and the cards that you can get on the back. That was one. Keith, what's going on? How you been, brother man? And so the one thing that I wanted to show you guys is, for whatever reason, I had all of these rule books. So we have the Blaine rule book, and I don't know where I had this, but the Lieutenant Surge's rule book. So maybe we can just put that right there. But put Mr. Lieutenant Surge up there for right now. So the one thing that I wanted to show you guys that is almost like someone framed it perfectly in a DM. It's almost like the Mandela effect, right? So so this is what the rule book kind of looks like. So it's all in Japanese. I can't read any of it, right? So we have the game board, we have the rules in Japanese, we have some of the energies, right? But there's one section. You have the Mew. Hey, should I get this sheet? Should I get the rule book graded? What do you guys think? Chat, should I get page 27 of the rule book graded? Let me know in chat. So we just have a bunch of rules. We have energy, Tangela, whatever, right? But here's where it gets crazy, right? Here's where it gets crazy. And let me kind of do this real quick. So I'm about to blow your guys' mind, right? Why on earth does a Charizard in the official rulebook in Japan have only one horn? Tell me that, chat. Have we been lied to this entire time? Has Charizard always had one horn, but the Mandela effect has told us it has two? What is that, chat? Or like the Clefairy. It's got Pikachu cheeks. It's like an alternative timeline. We got the Rattata. We got the Farfetch'd. We got the Magnemites. We got the Sandshrew getting chased around by a Ghastly. Just running around. But I thought that was really cool. So I had a bunch of these little, like a bunch of these little rule books. So who knows? Maybe I can do a giveaway. Would you guys want this? Maybe I'll make a little pile of stuff from the bulk. Who wants one of these, chat? Maybe I'll do a giveaway. Who wants a rule book? I got 3 of them. I'll probably keep one for myself, but if you guys think that'd be a cool giveaway, let me know. I'll make a little giveaway pile. So the rule book was pretty sweet. And then the Lieutenant Surge's one had like the old art. Like, look at this fat little Rattata. Look at this thing. Look at that guy. Just big chillin'. Big afraid. And we had like the, I forgot what the artist's name is, but look at this. Look at that, chat. That is, I have never seen a derpier looking Lickitung in my entire life. Holy. Look at him. Big chillin'. All from the official rulebook. Let's see what else. We got the Charmander. Big vibin'. Yeah, when I first saw these rule books, man, they were sweet. But then when I saw like the derpy artwork, it was pretty interesting. The Ammonite. Praise Helix. If you know, you know. What else? We got someone playing the game. So yeah, so just some random stuff that I found in the bulk. Got a nice little Pikachu there. Chilling. And then it came with some coins and a bunch of other weird stuff. And I guess I didn't even realize you can grade coins through PSA. So we have some of the old like cardboard coins. We got the Chansey. Maybe put that under. Look at that, chat. Nice little shine there, huh? That's a PSA 5 I've ever seen one with that print line. Holy. Wow. Keith, you want to do me a favor and message Betty on Discord? I think she's asleep. She wanted to see this, but I haven't seen her in chat. We got the Vileplume. We got the Flexing Chansey. We also have the hard coin. I haven't even taken it out of the sleeve. We got the Gloom. Looking nice, looking fresh. And then this one was pretty cool, the Alakazam. The Alakazam plastic coin. Looked pretty dope. But yeah. But we will continue on. But the rule books were pretty cool, in my opinion. Actual question, does PSA grade harshly on print lines? I just assumed they do, but I haven't. They do, like, because it's technically a scratch, right? So they won't ignore it, I can tell you that. Okay, so the next little pile. So this is my attempt. So one of the things, again, that I like to do, chat, is I like to add things to my $1, $2, $3 binders. And so a lot of this stuff is going to be good candidates for the $1, $2, $3 binder. And there is some pretty good stuff. I'm not going to lie. So like we had, so like a lot of legendary collection stuff, which I thought was really interesting. I honestly can't even remember. And then, I don't know if you guys are wondering, I am controlling the entire population of Zekroms when I opened up Celebrations, which is crazy that it's almost 5 years ago. Do I ship to Australia yet? Not yet, my friend. Not yet. Trying to. I'm trying to, like, the store is definitely more established as of late. But we're trying. And then some more. We had some Victinis. Good, Betty. We're getting... I knew you're probably sleeping. I didn't know where you were. All right. All right. So we got the Galarian. Because perfect timing, Betty. Because this is another thing I found in the bulk. The common Espeon from Plasma. Team Plasma's Espeon. Looking cool, looking fresh. Put that up there. And then a lot of like really cool e-readers from Gen 3, which I always really like. A lot of the artwork from like, I have no idea, to to be honest. I'll include it with your Jirachi. How's that sound? It's probably like $3. I have no idea. But yeah, a lot of like the Emerald stuff like that, really cool. The Kecleon, the Eevee was really nice from Sandstorm. But yeah, just found like a lot of like random e-reader stuff. Or like Gen 3. Got any cool Ninetales? I feel like I did go through some, to be honest. There might be some in this pile. But yeah, a lot of the commons that you're seeing would probably go, to kind of keep it simple, how I do it is all this stuff, for the most part, is anything 2010 and earlier. So any of the commons, like this Lotad, would go in my dollar binder. Anything that's uncommon would go in the 2, and anything rare would go in the 3. That way, it kind of keeps things nice and consistent and fast. And it's just nice because oftentimes when you try to buy dollar cards online, it's like $1 shipping. So it's kind of like... It's kind of a nice way to give people a chance to purchase some of these cards. You know, like the Team Aqua's Poochyena. Those are pretty cool. Good boys. Met a girl at the card show who was doing an Espeon Master Set. That's pretty cool. But she was also looking for the Espeon Prime. You should have one-on-one boxed her. Fight for the Espeon. And then we had some really beat up vintage. Like, really beat. Like... So beat that we had like this Poliwrath literally looked like it was in, yeah, I must have assessed this forever ago, the 2-to-1. Like this card is just crazy. Doing a Ninetales Master Set, that's pretty cool. But that Venusaur is pretty cool, nice little swirl there on the mouth. The Ericas, the Blastoise. But yeah, just like it's just always so funny to like go back through your bulk because you have no idea. You'll never know what is kind of like what you kind of wrote off years ago. And what else? Yeah, just some like random. These were really cool. The Salamence e-reader and then the Flygon from Dragon. I think it's just called. I think the set's just called EX Dragons. Or Dragon. I'm not too sure. I think that's the set symbol for Dragon. And then some promos, which I thought was pretty cool. You know what's crazy? There isn't a single full Cubone full art or alt art. Well, there is the one, I don't know if you saw, Envy, the Chinese exclusive Cubone that is a full art that's coming out. I don't know if it's already come out or is coming out. Betty might know more. It seems like she's always in the know when it comes to more of like the Japanese exclusive stuff or Chinese exclusive stuff. Oh. We're back. We're back, I think. We back, chat? Sorry, my latency is really bad. Sorry if you just saw me just sitting there. We got some Charmanders from that structure deck that we just went over. That's pretty cool. And then what else? That's a lot I collect. Exactly. So, yeah, and then there's just more, again, more just like generic stuff that's earlier than 2008. So we got the Onyx, the C-Dot, the Wingle. Look at that. Look at that little Wingle. The little Wingly boy just chilling. The Oshawa IR. Dude, why is everything more than like $5? That's the vibe I give. Like when I see a card worth $50, just derping. The Shroomish. So yeah, it's always kind of cool to have like these older vintage cards. And it's crazy that I'm already kind of starting to consider vintage as like 2010 or earlier. but he's shrugging, man. He's like, I don't know. I'm just vibing. Look at that Meryl. Look at that Golbat. You know what I mean? A lot of these cards don't need to be written off forever, chat. Now look at that Miltank. Chat, that's me right there. Trying to do a crunch. Do you play any Pokemon PF the games? I'm assuming you're talking about Pokemon, and yes, I do. Hopefully, next week I'm actually looking to start or restart some Nuzlockes, so that'd be pretty cool. Kind of start those back up again and just chill with chat for a little bit. Oh. And we got some more goodies. The Crying Wishmer. Tangela. So yeah, a lot of these cards are eventually going to go into like the $1, $2, $3 binders. And just a nice little, like, cool little lot, right? Because honestly, a lot of the best sellers that I have, look at that Hoppip, the Execute, the Entei, are some of like the $1, $2, $3 binders are some of my best sellers. And there is one that one show I went to that I removed them for a little bit because they are a little bit cumbersome sometimes because it takes a lot of real estate from the booth. And I had people asking like, where are the binders? And I was like, I failed you. But yeah, I definitely love the Gen 1 through Gen 4 in terms of the games. Gen 4 is probably my, like, it might be a weird take, but for the vanilla games, Gen 4 is probably my favorite because of that was probably the most impactful quality of life changes that they made with, like, physical and special splits in terms of, like, damaging moves. Oh yeah, that Blossom was sick, huh? Let me pull that out. It was where is it? This guy right here. Here, we'll do that. It's a little loved for sure. There's a little bit of, but it is a loved claymation. Look at that. Look how cute. The other day when I just want to look at the cards. Yeah, man, I'm right there with you. You know, at the end of the day, I think trying to, like, my big thing is I like to cater to all collectors, not just investor bros, right? Like, not everyone can afford, like, I have more expensive slabs, but it's like, I don't know, I just don't really care to always have just like top, like, high-end stuff like that all the time, because it's like I don't want to alienate collectors, you know. The artist for this one is Yuka Mori. I don't know why I'm doing that. I have literally a microscope. So yeah, Yuka Mori is the artist. Yeah, it's very, very nice. And then this little... But yeah, it was really fun kind of going through the bulk yesterday. Like, there was some stuff that I was like, holy crap. Like this one right here. Well, actually, I'll save it to the back. But... And then just some, like, random... Watch, I just picked these up all... Yep. The Pokeball was literally the only one that was the right orientation. So yeah, so some, like, I love this Shroomish. I think legitimately, I think my favorite Pokemon in Gen 3 was Breloom. Shroomish and Breloom. I really loved the idea of having a grass fighting type. Because it was kind of cool to not have a grass poison. Yeah, like all the e-readers, Betty, I agree. Like all the e-readers from like Gen 3 or like the Delta stuff. Like that Mankey looks sick. Yeah, I'm right there with you. Like there's something about him. Like that Combuskin looks really cool. Like, again, the wing. Shout out Wingle, man. Shout out Wingle. Or, like, the Recycle with the Jigglypuff. Sad that he got caught. Like, Erica's Maids. Misty's Duel. Sabrina's ESP. Like, that's such a sick-looking trainer. You know what I mean? Sunkern. But yeah, a lot of these artworks are just so nice. I definitely agree. Nice little Poke Healer. The Slowpoke looks nice. Training method. I want to collect the band arts. That would be such a sick collection. Well, Envy, I am close to having most of them complete. I know, man. The Poke Healer. Where is it? Just keep shouting out cards, Betty. Where is it? Yes, I will show you in a second. I'll show you in a second. Yeah, the elms. Big old, and then like Chikorita is like, brother, what are you doing? Chikorita has had enough. Sabrina's Gaze, nice. Me when I have Sabrina's Gaze. Mysterious Fossil. Got another... Is that another? Yeah, so that's another clay from Yuka. Making macarons for my mother's bakery market. Oh, nice, dude. That's super sick. Look at that, cheerleaders cheer. Like I'm saying, like I agree with you, Betty. These are all like really cool, just like older cards. Because I really love the like especially for like the CGI stuff. Like they're all just like so scuffed and like so glossy looking. Holy, the rare appearance. What up? Right now we're just kind of going through my bulk. How's it going, man? Thank you for pausing your World of Warcraft to look at some vintage bulk that I found. The cheerleaders. What's that food card? Let's see. Sorry, my is so lazy. I work too much today. I feel ya. Well, Keith. You and Scar, you changed your name. I can't even remember what your name was before. Towards the end. Yeah, it's so bad. I'm so delayed. Pause. The food card. Where is it? Food. Because my stream is so so delayed. Oh God. Food card. Food card. I'm determined now. Legend box, full heal potion, Bill's maintenance, crystal. Dude, the $1, $2, $3 binders are going to be absolutely insane sicko mode. Cheerleader, energy, lady, claw. I mean, unless you're thinking of ladies outing. Yeah, I don't know. Kind of crazy this app lets you change your names every 7 days. That's what it was. Dream Scythe. Holy. Now, Keith. Now you know. Yeah, it is pretty crazy. People were changing. I remember when like TikTok was still like on the fence of getting banned, and people were changing their names of like I'm going over here now and whatever. Like that one. Look at this one. Igglybuff. I know you're gonna comment on that. I'm pre-firing. I'm pre-firing that you're gonna be like, oh my god, Igglybuff. Already pre-fired it. With the Roselia looking bougie. Holy. You got some shadowless stuff. Let's see. But yeah, don't let me forget, Envy, to show you the another Yuka. To show you the band artwork stuff. That switch I think this switch is really cool looking. With the Chikorita and the Marill. The Delta species Vulpix. Let's see. The Glameow. The Shuppet. The Tongue Out. There's a 0% chance. Perfect. Look at this one. That one's probably going to be another one, Betty. Look at that. The stuffed Pikachu is ripped. Look at that. I'm like pre-firing all the cute stuff. I know. Let me cook. The Team Rocket's Meowth. The Super Scoop Up with the Piplup. Let's see. Oh, the Elekid. Boom. And the Swellow. And then this bad boy, the Metal Mew that I just randomly found in there. That was pretty crazy. And then the... And the Japanese Espeon. From the promo set. That was the one, I don't know if you guys remember, this is the one that I graded. And I cracked it. I released the bird. And then I left it in there. Now these are, wow, chat, we're in the money now. The Mews. These are going crazy, huh? Wow, no market manipulation there. Crazy. Like, look at this. Like, I already know. You don't even, Betty, watch. You're going to say, oh my god, need it. It's already in the pile. It's already in there. Though about 50 of the... right? Corby, I've lost track of, like, how many I've had somewhere. Oh my god. Look at that gulping. That goes hard. I think it's like 20, Keith. I'm pretty sure. They're like 20 bucks. Dude, if it's Pokemon, everything's worth something. It's stupid. It's really dumb. I wish to collect all the Plusles and Minons. Alright. I got you. Hold. There you go. Put her in the pile. But yeah, the $1, $2, $3 binders are going to go absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. Sorry guys, I keep hitting the... I think these are just all trainers. Yeah, these are just all trainers. But yeah. And then... what else, chat? Oh! I almost forgot, Envy. I almost forgot. Let's see, I have some movie promos that I've been going through. Had, dude, I literally a gold mine. Well, it's nice because, like, I guess some of the people that I have come to my booth, when I have those, are trying to look to build, like, the old decks. So I'm like, sure. Like, have at it. So yeah, here are the band stuff. So right off the rip, the band Sabrina's Gengar, PSA 7, the Jinx. Again, that's why, like, for me, all these are graded because I picked these up at some point during my vending time. So I didn't care about what they would get. I just love the history. I love the history behind the band stuff. So we have the Sabrina's Gengar, the Jinx, the Sabrina's Gaze, the naughty symbol Koga that I have to cover up with my thumb because I'm afraid. Put that probably face down. I'm back. All right, well, I'm just going through these. If you need me to go through them again, I can. We got the Grimer, and then we have the new edition. One of the new edition was the Moo Moo Milk. I think the only ones that I'm really missing that I care about are, I think the big one, because, well, this one was the big one, the Sabrina's Gengar. Really the ones I'm missing is the Misty's Tears, and the, what was it? The slot machines. The 2 slot machines, the Misty's Tears, and the Magmortar. I think those are the ones that I'm missing, and then the set is complete. That's why I kind of like, oh, and the Jinxes from the Gym Hero Gym Challenge. That's really the one, like the Gym Hero Gym Challenge, technically, I have to get those for the Bull Band set. Another set I really wish I could complete was Southern Islands, and then I got my Sabrina's Gengar and A for $40. Dude, I know. Isn't it crazy, Betty, to like go back and think about all that stuff? It's insane. It's absolutely insane. But let's see. I have a lot of these that I still haven't. Guys, I literally have so many cards. It's ridiculous. Like, not even like a lot of crazy expensive cards. Just random stuff. How much would you say all that is? Honestly, dude, I don't even know. Because I wouldn't even look at selling it. But, like, I just have, like, all this, like, random top stuff. Like, just all over the place. Like, Brock and Misty. Professor Oak. Like, just a bunch of, like, the ones that I really like, yeah, I think it's this section. Is, like, all of the movie promo stuff. I always thought that these were really cool. The Tears of the Pokemon, chat. There's no crying in Pokemon. And then for the Mewtwo elitists. So just like all these like screenshots, these movie screenshots, all these are going into the $1, $2, $3 binders. So some cool stuff. They got the Pikachu. Yeah, I love Southern Islands. For me, is my favorite subset or side set. For sure. Look at that. Me when I don't pull my chase card. But yeah. So I literally just am just going through all my bulk that I've been ignoring for probably 2 years now. And just starting to fill up my little cheaper binders. And I just try to put some cool variety in there. Stuff that, you know, people don't bother bringing to shows because it, quote, doesn't make money or whatever. It's like, well, you know, let's spread some fun to the collectors. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to always be like $100 or more for cards and stuff. So, but yeah, chat, that's most of what I'm going to be bringing. Here I am back again. So what's going on, chat? Got these cards that I just got that I'm starting to process. Like these. This Espeon. This Mew. This Mew. Literally just cards on cards on cards. It's crazy. And this, guys, if you've been here for a while, Look who I found. The infamous Erica's Ivysaur. The bane of my existence. The bane of my existence is this stupid Ivysaur. This is always the one that will give me grading anxiety, still to this day. I'm pretty sure I know where it is on why this keeps getting a 3, but it's crazy that it keeps getting a 3. What else? And then this is all just like product stuff behind me. And you guys, I don't know if you have seen past streams, but my big box, my cardboard box is gone. The cardboard box is gone. So I'm so close to showing you guys what was in that cardboard box. If you guys have been here during the streams, I'm super stoked to share with you what that's about. But that will soon come. Time will come. I would see a lot of booths with nearly empty cases besides Hetty Haver. Yeah, Betty. That's what it's... Because people try to use that for trade bait, but like at the end of the day, like if you alienate the collector, I feel like that's what's going to happen at the end of the day. Is that there's going to be too many people who alienate collectors, and all those investment bros are going to be wondering why they're left holding the bag. But special treat for me tomorrow. Ooh la la. You know what? I'll have to grade it when I do a new bulk submission. I'll crack this open and try to treat what I think it's just like there must be like a small dent or something on it somewhere. That's my guess. But why it keeps getting a 3 because of that small dent is crazy. Because the rest of the card is flawless. But I don't know. New cert, I guess. But alright, chat. Well, I think that's going to do it for me. Thank you guys so much for the likes, shares, all that fun stuff. Sorry if it was a little bit laggy in the beginning and kind of throughout the stream. I was trying to multi-stream to YouTube both because they do short streaming now, which is kind of cool. So I was trying that. So yeah, if you guys haven't already, make sure to join the Discord. Got a lot of stuff going on there. I appreciate you guys, as always, hanging out with me. Thank you for everyone that's, again, liked, shared, followed, all that fun stuff. And yeah, I will catch you guys in the next one. Next stream is going to be next Wednesday. I have a show the first Sunday of October, so going to be excited to share with you guys my updated inventory. So that'll be kind of cool. And yeah, take care, guys. Peace.